may not like it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode. Ladies and gentlemen, here we go again. Getting hard, so hard on a Monday. Gonna talk a lot of shit with ya. Gonna smoke a spliff with ya. We're not really gonna do that, but I keep it true that on Monday. Ladies and gentlemen, that shit was ridiculous. This shit is bananas. B-A-N-A-N-A-S. It's hard to spell bananas. It is really hard sometimes. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Monday. We're coming hot on a Monday, and I'm tired of saying it. You should know it by now. Bring them flames to the game on Monday. Okay, ladies and gentlemen? You know, we had a great weekend. Listen, in Texas, you get real weather. Okay? This ain't no California shit. Heading out California way. You want that good weather. Listen, middle of the night, thunderstorms. It was like the intro to Bambi. You remember that? Ooh, psh, ooh, psh. I got Beowulf fucking next to me on the bed, you know, or on the side of the bed, just breathing that anxiety-induced hot breath in my fucking face, just freaking the fuck out. Beowulf has created a cave underneath my side of the bed where she just goes under there. She's moved everything around, and she just has a little nook that she likes when things get a little crazy. But every now and then in the middle of the night, you know, a big strike happens, and she's like, fuck this little nook. I just need to get my peepers on Evan, okay? Because that's all she wants to do is she'll just look at me. And then I have to console her and just pet her head while she's in my goddamn face. So your boy might be a little tired today. But ladies and gentlemen, we're good. Listen, any day that you're above the dirt is a good day, right? We feeling it. It's Monday. Perhaps you rested. Perhaps you rested this weekend. Listen, it's something you got to do. Self-love, self-care. It's important. And at the end of the day, no one is going to do it for you. Hi, welcome to my self-help podcast. Evan Robbins. Evan Gary V. Robbins, okay? I'm just going to combine them all. Last week, I like to experiment with my schedules, figure out, you know, see what gets my willy to tingle a little bit more, you know? And last weekend, I just kept working through the weekend. Saturday, Sunday, still going to the gym every day. Still worked on the computer, did a bunch of business work. Monday rolled around. Your boy was exhausted, okay? I felt like I needed another vacation, another weekend. And that was something I switched up this weekend where I said, fuck it, this weekend I'm not going to the gym. Did a little bit of work on Saturday. I'm going to save it all. I'm going to let my body recover. I'm going to rest. Self-love, self-care, you know? Self-love might mean something different to you if you know what I'm saying, okay? Might get that lotion. You know where this is going, ladies and gentlemen. Just got to do what you got to do, young kings. Don't let these religious groups tell you it ain't a good thing, okay? Keeps you out of trouble. Keeps your nose clean. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just get going and I don't even know where I'm going. I just start going, you know? I do owe an apology. I owe an apology to an Olympic sport, okay? And I'm a big enough person to know when I fucked up and when I talk. And that's what sometimes this podcast is. The idea is to try to be funny, to just try to, you know, sometimes I execute it, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I don't. And I picked on artistic swimming, as they call it now, which is really just synchronized swimming. I wonder if they call it artistic swimming now because synchronized swimming just seems like such a dorky thing. Like you just picture black and white videos of older ladies with black suits on and fucking weird flower caps, just and then swimming around in circles. Randomly, I'm getting ready last night to go to bed. It's about 11 or something like that. I'm on the YouTubes, you know, on the TV, And I like to look at the Olympic highlights. Anything that happened this weekend, I just like to go through. I type in Olympic 2021, and I just get the cliff notes of everything going on. I don't have time to sit there and watch all the live bullshit. And all of a sudden I see artistic swimming. It's an 1.5-hour video. And I go, you know what? I don't have an 1.5 hours for this shit. But let me at least see what it's looking like. And it was actually from the 2016 Rio Games. So I was like, I just want to see what artistic swimming really is, because I've never really watched it. And I'll be honest with you. These ladies knocked my dick off into the pool. Okay? Not in a weird way. It just blew me away. All right? Blew me away. Egypt started out first. And listen, I don't think there's that many pools in Egypt. So I wasn't impressed. Okay? I was like, okay, well, again, looks like a bunch of kids in the back of a pool party doing this. But then they brought out Brazil and Italy. Yeah, Italy. Apparently they have pools out there too. Except in Italy, the pools are filled with Italian dressing. Okay? Stupid. They just sometimes train resistance training in a pool for a marinara sauce. A little bit of pasta. All right? Stupid. It blew me away. They got to Russia. Apparently Russia just dominates the whole thing. I believe they got gold, and they also got gold this year as well. I watched about an hour straight of artistic swimming, and I never thought I never thought that sentence would leave my mouth, that I watched an hour of artistic swimming. It was glorious. It could be one of the toughest sports in the Olympics. There, I said it. Okay, at least top six. You know what doesn't need to be in the Olympics? Fucking airsoft gun target practice. What? I saw thinking they were shooting like airsoft guns. And it's funny that America dominates it. And it's funny that the kid, like, I was watching airsoft or whatever it was, target shooting range, whatever it is. So I know someone's yelling at me right now. This kid looked like he was high school age, maybe college. And he looks like a school shooter that got his shit right together, you know? He is what you should show school shooters and be like, hey, listen, I know how you're feeling. But if you hold out, you could get a gold medal in this shit. Do you want prison bars or a gold bar around your neck? I'm just saying. There's options out there. Okay. But artistic swimming, phenomenal sport. I take back everything I said. And I'm looking to support it some more. Okay. And let's see. Other Olympic news. This was something that was pretty big last week, near the end of the week. And I didn't want to talk about it until I got some more information about it and like see how it played out. Because there was a lot of stuff online that I had a lot of, there was a lot of hot takes and a lot of people just making their judgments without getting more data. And it was the Simone Biles, I guess you could say drama. Where Simone Biles, if you don't know, maybe stop living under a rock. She's the gymnast who is considered the GOAT, I guess. And she pulled out of her events due to mental health. Controversial thing, because you're here in the Olympics. It is a once out of every 4 years, 5 years this year, event where you basically are working all that time for this moment. And I know she dominated in Rio, and I remember seeing her performance and I was like, God damn, impressive. But she ended up pulling out because mentally she just wasn't there. It was just feeling off. And it's controversial because there's a lot of people who are saying that she's mentally weak, that she quit, and that she's not being a good example to people like to do this dumb shit where they put you on a pedestal and say you're being an example for other young women and everything like that. Dude, fuck all that noise, okay? I feel like that's a distraction of an athlete. And people give themselves a God complex and they put themselves on their own pedestal. And it makes it way too fucking stressful because then you're trying to be something you're not. That happens with a lot of things. When people drink the Kool-Aid, that's something that I feel like Kanye West should be a cautionary tale of someone who had everything, all the talent, all the hard work, and he engaged too much with the ego, where he drank all the Kool-Aid. There might be a Kool-Aid shortage because of all the Kool-Aid that Kanye West has drank, to the point where I always think about this with music artists. I hate seeing it, but they get lazy. It's hard. Like it's hard to smash beats when you're sleeping in satin sheets. Bars, okay? That hunger goes away, and then you just kind of go on cruise control. And then it happened to Lil Wayne as well, where you start saying certain lines, and people, you think you can pull it off because of who you are. But if some unknown rapper or person said those lines, wouldn't really hold a candle. But since you said it, you think it carries more weight. Basically just get lazy, and it's because you start drinking the Kool-Aid of who you are and who people think you are. Kind of off topic, but that's kind of what happened to Kanye West, in my opinion. That he kind of just, I don't know what the fuck happened. The Kardashians happened to Kanye. But in general, when people start putting people on pedestals, and the thing you got to avoid is not putting yourself on that pedestal, not putting extra pressure on yourself and believing all the hype. I forgot who said it. I don't know if it was Anthony Joshua. After getting beat, he handled his loss well. He actually came back and avenged that loss. And part of the reason was, he says, you don't let the highs get you too high and the lows get you too low. You can't drink the Kool-Aid. You can't start thinking, you know what, maybe I am God's gift to insert blank, you know? And I'm not saying that's what Simone, is her name Simone? Simone Biles did, but it's something that can happen. Obviously, you look at her past and everything, there was a ton of allegations with the previous coach or the therapist, the doctor, whatever, and she was kind of around that, so I know there's probably extra stress and everything. And that's just a hard thing to work through. We don't really know physically, even though she kind of cleared it up and said it wasn't anything physical, that it was just kind of mental. It's kind of a weird thing to get to the Olympics and then you decide that you can't do it. Could have been something, maybe before that you realized it was off. Luckily, and this is how I look at it, the cup half full, is it gave someone else the spotlight to shine in that position. So I thought that was great. I believe her name was Sun Lee. Suni Lee. It gave her a great opportunity to be able to showcase and have an opportunity. Let me say opportunity one more time. But I thought that was great that she kind of stepped in and was able to get the spotlight. And I mean, it could have been a great move that Simone Biles did this, but there's so many people. And listen, I always err on the side of like, I don't understand the sport. I don't know anything about what's going on in her personal life. It's an interesting thing. There's a lot of people, man. They just, any chance they get to call a generation soft, they fucking take it. And I'll be honest, there's a lot of truth to that with the generation getting soft and more, the rise in mental health and illness and everything like that. Dude, there is a direct correlation to the increase in technology and the increase in technology, increase in how easy things are getting, how automated things are getting, how much easier it is to exist in society, and the level of mental illness going up. And it's kind of crazy. And it shows that there's an inherent need to struggle for people. And I always like that. If you don't create the struggle yourself and choose your own struggles with goals and things that you want to work on, I think life is going to fill in the blank for you. It's built into us to struggle. We have to have struggles. But something I found interesting is If you don't know, Henry Cejudo, he won gold in 2008 in freestyle wrestling in Beijing. He went on to be two-division champion in the UFC, came back from losses and avenged losses, and also he's just mentally such a strong competitor. And he commented on it. And when I hear like Olympic champions who, also went to another sport and dominated it across the board, retired the double champ, which is amazing. He commented on it and he said, Henry Cejudo, who won gold in 2008, explaining his take on the gymnast's decision to bow out of the team finals and all-around competition so she could focus on her mental health. And he said, I think there's time for a little bit of tough love. Cejudo, who is now retired from competition, said in the clip, sometimes we need a nice kick in the arse. Is it arse or ass? Arse. A-R-S-E. It's always confused me. People say the media created her and, they put upon this pressure. Not really. They only give you a platform. It's up to you to believe it and accept it. If you start thinking you're the GOAT and the greatest of all time, then that's on you. Cejudo calls Biles' decision a mistake and said the Olympics are a true battle of will. If Biles is going to call herself the GOAT or the greatest of all time, then she has to live out that truth. Bars. There's two things that pressure can do. The martial arts champion explained the stress Biles faced entering the Olympics as the unofficial face of the game following a 4-medal haul in Rio de Janeiro 2016. Pressure could either break or it can make diamonds. Pressure could either bust pipes or it can create and make diamonds. You choose what to do for it or what to do with it. Remember that. Okay. I apologize for my 6th grade reading level I just hit you guys with, but these paragraphs are broken up so weird. Cejudo says Biles needs to remember there's a reason she's an Olympic champion, and with games only every 4 years, there's only so many chances an athlete can get. It's interesting. It's an interesting take, and it holds more weight than just hearing some dude on the couch being like, she's weak, mentally weak. I don't necessarily look at it like that she's weak. We don't know what she was going through. We don't know where her head was at. Man, it's easy to say that in that situation that you find a way to keep going. But sometimes this shit's a marathon and not a sprint. Is this her last games? Is she gonna be here again in 4 years? Is she looking at it like that? Was there a calculated risk and the chance of her teammates being able to seamlessly fill her spot and it wasn't going to drag the team down? You never know. And that's something that sometimes you don't understand why people are making the decisions they're making. And on the outside, it's easy to make judgment. Dude, I would deal with that boxing, jiu-jitsu, when I know my body was, broken down. I knew I had things to do, and they'd be like, I'm going to rest today. This is going to be a rest day because I want to be able to come back, tomorrow and have a good workout and not get injured. And there's always people that are always like, oh, no rest days, blah, blah, blah. Or, you don't want to spar that day. No, I'm not doing sparring right now, blah, blah, blah. Oh, come on. What are you, a pussy? And it's just like, no, I'm trying to take care of myself because I'm trying to do this shit for the next 5 to 10 years. And those people who always just think it's like a forward mentality, they always get injured. They always do. The people who, I always should say, it's not tough fighters or tough people that last. It's smart ones. It's the ones who can make calculated decisions and put their ego to the side. Because a lot of times those people who are like no rest days, no days off, no sparring, or I go full bore sparring when I'm injured, those people burn out. They get injured and their career trajectory just goes because they don't make the smart decisions. They let their ego take control of it. But I mean, that's different than this whole Simone Biles thing. It's crazy. The only thing is every 4 years, you get this opportunity every 4 years. I mean, she already has her gold medals. I mean, what do you do at that point? I'd love to get some other people's take who listen to the podcast, The interesting thing to me, and it ties into this, is I watched this weekend. First time I ever seen it. Breaking Amish. I don't know if you've ever seen this show, but it is glorious. Breaking Amish. It is this show that goes into the culture of the Amish and follows the lives of young people within the Amish community that want to no longer be a part of the Amish community. And it's fascinating. It's fascinating and here's a crazy statistic. Since like 2010, I would have thought there's like 7 Amish people left. I'm like, well, obviously with how the world is now, they're just going away. They're all leaving because once they get a smartphone, dude, once any 16-year-old Amish kid gets his hands on a smartphone and types in Pornhub, he's gone. He's gone. You're never getting him back. That is my dog running out the front door and just being deaf. Okay, it's just not getting it back. It's gone forever. Okay, it's fucking cotton candy in a river. All right, just he doesn't exist anymore. He ain't going back to being Amish after he finds Pornhub. Okay. Since 2010, I think it was, the Amish community has doubled, and it's only growing. There's like some trajectory that they're going to even like double what they are now and spread throughout even more states. The Amish are making a comeback, okay? The Amish are making a comeback, and it's an interesting thing because I feel like we all want to be a little more Amish nowadays. I feel like ideally we want to be more Amish. We want to be less dependent on our phones. We all know. Like, isn't that kind of crazy that we all know our phones are terrible for us? We all do. We all know that we're literally like crack addicts. We're like, yeah, crack's bad, but man, check out this crack, Like, we all know, like, yeah, I just pick up my phone sometimes. I go to Instagram, I don't know why, and then I close it, and then I open it right back up, and I'm like, I don't know, I shouldn't be doing this, but I love it. I can't stop. It's like we've all accepted this crack. And I wonder if being Amish is better for you mentally. There's got to be a place that you can meet in the middle. There's got to be a happy half Amish, half fuckboy out there, Someone who's just dipping their toes in both worlds, like Blade, a daywalker. You go hang out with the Amish people during the day, and at night you get weird, There's got to be something to it. Because I think about that. This is the thing with social media is I feel like it's not good for anybody. There's like one page that's good on Instagram, and it's like the good news movement. And all it is just good stuff that's happened. But everything else is race baiting, dividing, making everybody angry with politics. That's been like, if you really just go through the feed, especially right now, shout out to everybody who's just on there posting, fun shit. And I'm not trying to, I'm not trying to, pat myself on the back, but I only try to post shit that's just funny. I'm there for the goof because you know what social media isn't? It's not real life. Okay? It's not real life. There's a lot of people, and that's why I always think actions speak so much louder than words and pictures and videos. But I don't give two shits if someone's on their virtue signaling about some cause. We don't know these people's lives. We don't know what they do in their actual day-to-day, people's political beliefs. I think a lot of people want to come off a certain way politically, but then their actual actions of how they live their life could be in complete contradiction to what they say, on social media they want to be. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. The whole mental health thing. I feel like social media, almost like 24-hour news, it's changed the game for how people think they have to be. It's a 24-hour cycle of constantly being stimulated with everybody else's life, and it makes you feel like everybody else is doing all this shit at the same time, and oh my God, this, and oh my God, that. And then, someone like Simone Biles, where you just think everybody hates you or everybody loves you, and you're reading the comments and you're getting high off of it, and you're putting all this pressure on yourself. And then guess what? Sometimes you think it's good to consider yourself the GOAT because it gets you high. It gets that ego boost, and you're like, man, I am the shit. I am fucking Simone Biles. And then you get to a moment where you're like, shit, I'm not going to be able to hold myself to the standard I've set for myself. And all these young women that are looking up to me, like, the pressure can get to you. And I think that's something that happens at the highest level like that with someone like Simone Biles. But I think it happens at every single level of life on social media. It shows guys that you're not going to be successful enough. You're going to, there's so many other people who are completely jacked in the gym all the time. You're comparing what you look like in the mirror at 9:30 p.m., about to go to bed, full of yum-yums, to someone's completely sucked down, dehydrated, walking, they fucking photo shoot. And then you got women comparing themselves to other women online, and they're just like, oh, I'm not going to be that. And they're just scrolling, and you see all this stuff that makes you unhappy. There really is something to completely going off technology. I fantasize about it all the time. If I wasn't doing stand-up and wanting to put out content, I wouldn't even probably have an account. If I did, it would just be fishing videos. It would just be me standing there with fish and be like, hey guys, look at the fish I got today. That's all it would be. And to be honest, all my stuff is really just comedy stuff. I don't really care about trying to flex on anybody. My life outside of social media, completely different. And it is not as sexy. I remember a friend told me, he was like, hey, how's your life, man? It seems amazing from Instagram. I'm like, the fuck? This shit is hard. Life is hard for all of us. And sometimes I think social media makes us think that like it's not that hard for other people, but like you makes you feel like you're the only one going through stuff. And listen, your boy's not going through some crazy shit right now where I'm having a mental breakdown. I'm just breaking down the weirdness of social media and how it is for us being so connected to all over the globe. It's detrimental. It's detrimental. Okay? So my recommendation, ladies and gentlemen, I got a couple recommendations. Get off the phone. Get off social media. Pick a time during the day where you just shut it down. And maybe you're already doing it, but don't shut off this podcast. Don't you dare shut off this fucking podcast. But I think that's a great idea. It's just starting to disconnect a bit because shit, it doesn't do anything for you. I was even playing a video game yesterday and it had a public chat in it. And all people were doing was arguing about vaccines and political shit. And I'm like, you guys are supposed to be unwinding right now. But it's just so pent up. Everybody's so tense right now. Fucking Delta Dawn, What's that COVID you got on? Could it be they're here to sicken me? Stupid. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're looking for a show recommendation, your boy's got it for you. Dr. Death. Check it out. First 3 episodes are free on Peacock. Peacock, that's a free plug. Great show based on a true story. And it kind of opens your eyes to how ridiculous it is that like some people, and that's something even compared to the pandemic, a lot of people think that doctors are like on a pedestal of like, save me, doctor. If I have problems, I just walk into a hospital and then they fix me. Not knowing that these are just businessmen who went to school for a long time. And they got a lot of student loans. And how are they going to pay them off? By making you part of their business. And that's something that you see in this Dr. Death. What it is, it follows, I won't give too much away, but the story of this doctor who was a surgeon who was terrible at his job. And he was able to bounce all around these different hospitals and wasn't liable for all the lives he was ruining. And it's insanity. Getting people to do surgeries they don't need to do, completely fucking shit up, and just how much of a business hospitals are. which is crazy. Hospitals don't make money off of just fixing you and sending you off on your way, you know? These hospitals make money by pushing stuff on you. Hashtag vaccines. Okay, listen. That's why I always think, like, it's scary. It's scary that you can just be in that position where you're helpless against diseases and illnesses. And it's like, you got to take care of your meat wagon. You got one, baby. You got to take care of it. You only got one for now, maybe in the future. But right now, you just got one meat wagon. So you got to eat good food. You got to work out. Take care of yourself. Get that immune system up, baby. All right? Ladies and gentlemen, I know this was a more serious podcast, but sometimes that's how they come out, okay? I'm never going to apologize for who I am. Not to you ever. But you know what I will apologize for? Loving you. Because at the end of the day, I still love you. And normally we end right there. But ladies and gentlemen, I want to tell you, I hope you have a great fucking week. I hope you get after it. I hope you do one fucking thing that scares you this week. One thing that you've been wanting to do that you keep pushing off. You just listen to old Evan here, okay? This week is the week that you're going to take action on that bullshit, okay? You're just going to get after it. If it's some place you've been wanting to go, fuck it. I'm calling today. Just take the action. No one gives a shit about knowledge. I heard a great quote this weekend. Knowledge isn't power. Action is power. Because knowledge is powerless without action. Remember that shit. Okay? Self-help, Guru Evan, Tony Robbins, Gary V, Gary fuck yourself, half beanie on. I love you guys. Have a great fucking week.